What's going on, guys? Today I got for you guys 5 tips to get back after a fall off. All right, so let's get into it. So step one, or number one, is going to be going back to your fundamentals. Okay, so for me personally, when I fall off, it's usually because I replace my good habits I was doing with destructive habits. Okay, there's fundamental habits that set the framework for how the rest of your day goes and how you act. Okay, so like for me personally, journaling, meditation, and having a clean space are my fundamental habits. Okay, and damn, that car sound good. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so if my space isn't clean, then my mind's not going to be clean, and I'm not going to act in a clean, accordingly manner. If I'm not journaling, I'm not able to express my thoughts and emotions onto paper, so I can't kind of fine tune where I'm at mentally. And last is meditating. If I'm not meditating, then I'm not mindful, and I'm acting off of my emotions most likely, rather than acting off of my needs and desires. Okay, so when you see yourself falling off, the first thing you need to do is realize that you are falling off and that you're slipping back into your old ways. Okay, that's the first step, is to realize that you're actually falling off. Okay, because then it's easier to say, okay, I'm falling off, I need to implement this. Okay, so now let's talk about fundamentals. There is a set of habits that will propel you way more than other habits. Okay, and you need to find those for yourselves, because they're not all going to be the same for everyone. But for me, it's journaling, meditation, and cleaning my space. All right, so whatever makes you feel the most set up and ready to work and puts you in the best mindset, those are most likely your fundamental habits that you build off of. Okay, so things like morning routines and nightly routines are good fundamentals, because it sets you up in the morning and gets you ready for the next morning. All right, so just going back to the basics and doing the small things and making the small decisions is what's going to get you back on track. Okay, so if you have re-picked up the bad habit of scrolling through TikTok when you're bored, okay, you've made that decision to scroll on TikTok multiple times, and it's led you into that being your default for when you're bored or when you need something to do and you don't want to do constructive work. Okay, so instead of getting on TikTok, when you get the urge to get on TikTok, realize that you're having the desire and urge to get onto TikTok, you're craving that dopamine, and find something else to do instead of that. Okay, so for me, a good substitute for social media use is reading. Okay, because it's less dopamine and I actually get knowledge out of it. All right, so realizing the bad habits that you're doing and making the decision not to do them is a hard thing, but it's very essential to getting back on track. All right, coming in at number 3 is going to be remembering why you're doing what you're doing. So for me, I'm running at e-commerce sites. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is for financial freedom. All right, so I have to remember the reason that I'm doing the constructive things I'm doing and kind of attach feelings. The book Think and Grow Rich talks a lot about this. You have to attach emotion to that thought of why you're doing it, and once you mix those together, if you mix them together well, then you will be able to act upon those thoughts and emotions. Okay, remembering your cause for putting in all this effort is very essential to getting back on track. Okay, all right, so step number 4, I know that I already mentioned this as my fundamentals, but I believe that these 2 habits are very essential to keeping you focused. Okay, so the first one is meditating and the second one is writing. Okay, so it doesn't have to be journaling, it doesn't have to be goal setting, it doesn't have to be planning out your day, but just one of those or something like that that sets you up and puts your mind back into place where it should be. Okay, and you can use meditation to amplify this, or you can use writing to amplify the meditation, whichever one comes first for you. And really kind of, when you meditate, focus on the life that you're trying to have and the habits that you need to do right now, the actions that you need to do right now to build that life for you. Number 5 is lean off your bad habits or your destructive habits. Okay, so it's kind of, for some people, it might be a lot more difficult to go cold turkey on those bad habits. So if that's you and it's hard for you to just drop them immediately, then just start saying, instead of saying yes 5 out of 5 times to those bad habits, say it 4 out of 5 times, and then 3 out of 5 times, and then 1 out of 5 times, and then you'll get back down to not doing those habits at all. All right, so if you have a trouble going cold turkey on the things you're addicted to or the bad habits that you have, All right, so leaning off of those is very essential to getting back onto your constructive habits, okay? Because let's say you get onto TikTok, or you get onto YouTube, or you get onto Instagram, and it might seem like you're only on it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but that translates into your brain running less focused and more distracted and more kind of disoriented for the whole day or for the whole hour, okay? So it might not seem like those decisions that you make are very important at the moment, but realize that all those decisions in those split seconds is what makes up your life, all right? So just make those decisions less often, and you'll see a change in how your mentality is and how your thought process is. And once you get down to where you're only doing it 2 out of 5 times, then you'll kind of realize, oh, I don't even need to do this habit. This habit doesn't provide me with anything, so I'm just going to drop it off completely, okay? Those are the 5 things that I would recommend to get back on your grind, all right? I just want to let everybody know I'm really proud of you for being in this side of the social media and trying to improve yourself. I'm really proud of you. It's a hard journey, and you might fail a lot of times because everyone does, but failure is what leads to success, okay? Failure is the building block to success, all right? So when you're failing and you're making the bad decisions, just realize that's a part of the process, and as long as you correct and get back onto track, then you're doing exactly what you're supposed to, okay? You can't succeed without failing, all right? So everyone have a blessed week, and be sure to be on your grind, all right? I believe in you all. Stay safe. Get rich quick.